Hey, welcome back to Hoffman Leatherworks, where today we will be making a leather pancake style holster for a Glock 17. So if you get this pattern from our Etsy store, my website, it does come with two options where you can either, it has the stitching holes for a lining or not. And on this one we won't be, so we'll be using a little bit thicker leather. I usually use an 8 to 9 ounce without a lining, and a little bit thinner if I do use a lining, and depending upon the lining that I do use. So, as you just saw, we'll start out just like we always do here. We'll print the pattern. This pattern comes available in an 8.5 by 11 standard paper, so we'll go ahead and print that and get it cut out and get it taped down to the leather that we'll be using. I like to just kind of cut them out and trim them up before I start to punch the holes. So here we'll be punching holes. I use a 1.2 millimeter punch. And since we won't be doing a lining on this one, you can see the solid dots on the pattern. And it explains all this in the pattern itself, but those are the ones we won't be using today. So once we get all the holes punched, and then I always punch the belt slots just on one side. I wait to do the second side till we got it glued up. That way you don't have to worry about an exact location on your holes. So we'll go ahead and get it all cut out here. I just use a standard utility knife and get it cut out. At this point we don't have to be exact. We will be doing some final work on the edges here, so we'll just get it cut out, and sometimes I use a straight edge, sometimes not. However you feel comfortable. So there you go. We got it. Both pieces cut out, and we're ready to do some glue up on this. We'll go ahead and start gluing. I just glue one side at a time with just a good contact cement. So we'll get the glue spread on there nice and evenly, and give it, 3-5 minutes, something like that. You don't want to let it dry out too much, but you give it a little time. And I got a bunch of these little awls here, and they work really great for lining up the holes. Since we pre-punch the holes, we want them to make sure to line up as closely as possible. So I use those to help line up the leather. And then once we got one side done, we'll go ahead and do the other side. You can see the front piece of leather is a little bit bigger. Again, when you get the pattern, there'll be both options. One with the front piece a little bit bigger, and another one with it exactly the same as the back. But this one's a little bit bigger, so we'll go ahead and glue it up. Let it dry, so you'll have to this is where those awls really come in handy, since we have to kind of force the holes in alignment. So we'll get it all nice glued up. Here's I sewed it did the stitching and dyed it at this point. So all we're ready to do is a little bit of wet forming. So we'll go ahead and dunk it in water. Leave it soak for a minute or two. You don't want to get it extremely saturated, but you get a little bit wet and the leather becomes really nice and pliable, and you can kind of tell. While we're doing that, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. So when it's been in the water a little while, we'll go ahead and I just wipe it off to get some of the heavy water off. And if you leave it for another few minutes, it'll soak in nice and become even more pliable. And then I got a gun blank for the Glock 17, I'm sorry. So we'll go ahead and that, and then I use this little press that I made with some pretty heavy duty clamps. I clamp it in there for about 15-20 minutes, sometimes longer. Kind of depends on how busy I am. Doesn't hurt to leave it in there. And here we go. Here's the final product. It's the next day. It's been dried. Just snaps right in there. Holds tight. Pulls out good. This is just the final product with a little bit of finish on it and buffed out and ready to last a lifetime. Again, hit subscribe if you like the video. Hit the like button. And let us know if you have any questions.